Yes, guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll notice that I posted a carousel about how to boost your testosterone naturally. So that means without any exogenous hormones. So I wanted to go through this a little bit more and just kind of deep dive onto the whys and wheres and how this can help you as a natural athlete. So let's dig in. First slide, body fat. So why is your testosterone suppressed through excess body fat? So each cell in your body has a androgen receptor. Now, this includes fat cells. Now, what a receptor is, and I love the analogy of this, is say when you were playing on the beach as a kid and you used to have the tennis ball and the sticky glove. The tennis ball is the testosterone and the sticky glove is the androgen receptor. Now, if your body fat is stealing all of your testosterone, then it's not going to your muscles. So this then increases aromatization, which you can see here on the slide. Just about here, increases aromatase activity, the enzyme that converts testosterone directly to estrogen. The leaner you are, the less this happens. Now, this is especially important if you are enhanced, but obviously we're not talking about that today. But a big thing that I see with people that are bigger and they think, oh, I need to bulk because I'm natty. Complete opposite. If anything, you need to stay around the 10 to 12% body fat range in the off season. Some people can get away with going up to 15. The research shows that you can go up to 18. I'm not a fan of that. I think that when you start getting to that realm, you then start to incur other issues such as insulin sensitivity, desensitization, and things like that. But most people, I would say anywhere from 10, sitting around the 10 to 12 range is pretty damn good. And what this will do is not only will you have a testosterone boost from it, you will then have an insulin sensitivity production benefit and your sleep will be better, which will then produce more growth hormone. Now, these are three things that enhanced users use on the regular. So you've not got those to play with, so let's play with them yourself. So this is also another point is that if we keep your body fat in check, you don't have to take 60, 70 pounds off of your frame in order to get into shape if you are stepping on stage, or even, to get beach ready. Because 10 to 12, you're not far away. Some people would even say that you are beach ready at 10 to 12. I would probably say maybe more like if you're sitting at 12, you might want to be 10 sort of thing. But you just won't have to try very hard. And what that will do is then you won't have to tank your testosterone in order to get into that sort of shape, which means you can recover better. And over time, you'll just keep more of that muscle that you've worked so hard to get. Now, sleep. Sleep is key. We know this from all sides of the aspect. Majority of test is made at night when we are sleeping. So if you're not getting enough sleep, it tanks it. And there's been research to show about 10 to 15% reduction when you get not enough sleep. So that's 5-6 hours instead of the 7 to 8. Now, obviously, this is person dependent, and there's certain things that do go into that, but that was an average study done. Now, a couple of things. Make sure the room is cool. It says 17 to 19 degrees. I personally keep it at 17. There's a couple of cheap clocks you can get to check your room. You can find them on Amazon. It's not very difficult. Total darkness. So people that sleep with the TV on or this, that, and the other. A big change that I do is I have a audiobook on now. I'm a big fan of Harry Potter, and Stephen Fry's voice is perfect for sleeping. So just pop it on, phone away, pop an audiobook on, and you're good to go. Another thing I want to touch on is alcohol. I have a very, very poor relationship with alcohol in a way that's probably the complete reverse from alcoholics. And I'm very, very against it. I think it's something that's killed off a lot of relationships. But what I will say is it will wreck your hormones for a good 5 to 7 days. purely from the sleep factor, but there's other factors that go on with it. So having alcohol will disrupt your sleep for that night and kill your gains when you think that you are, training and all of this stuff Monday to Friday, and Saturday night you go out on the lash. It is making an impact. Most people think it isn't, but it really, really is. Similarly, when you first wake up in the morning, that is when your testosterone is at its absolute peak. Hence the morning wood. So if you're not having that, probably your sleep's a little bit knackered. And that is the goal and where we want to get it. Lifting heavy. Now, research has shown that this is a thing. I would say this is more to the general population than necessarily the bodybuilders, because we're already lifting heavy weight, even though you might think that, so-and-so can squat more than me. And you go, right, actually, it's still double your body weight. Like, let's be real, it's still heavy. That will give a big testosterone response. Basically, what it's saying is, hey, we don't know when this idiot's going to do this again, so we probably better get ready to kind of grow and repair, because this idiot keeps doing this and we need to figure this out. So a huge part of that. On top of that, steps. What this does is reduces cortisol. Now, if you think that testosterone and cortisol work on a very similar pathway, so if you are reducing cortisol, you're up in testosterone. That's not to say that cortisol is necessarily bad, but at the same time, if your cortisol is too high, then your testosterone will in turn be slightly lower. So that's basically that from the heavy lifting side of things. It's quite underrated, the kind of walk side of things. I think that lots of people think that getting their steps in is laborious, but actually it can be quite good for your mental health as well. Reducing cortisol, not only from a testosterone aspect, can be good across other places. So we're going to jump onto a little bit more about cortisol. As I say, they kind of share the same precursors. When it's stressed, it prioritizes cortisol. Something I like to use is magnesium to help with this. People think that things like saunas are doing that, but actually they're causing a stress response. Now, if you can cause a stress response first thing in the morning, I love the analogy that you've got a budget of cortisol throughout the day. Now, I don't know how scientifically backed what I'm about to say it is, but it's a good way that kind of made it make sense in my head when I was understanding it. Say if you've got £100 to spend on cortisol throughout the day, and you spend 80 quid first thing in the morning, through daylight exposure, cardio, maybe a sauna, whatever it might be, then you've only got 20 quid for the rest of the day. Now, let's say your boss says something to annoy you at lunchtime. Yeah, you might spend another £10. By the end of the day, you're done. Like, you're skint. You have no cash. So there's no cortisol. You can go to bed and relax and chill out and get a good amount of sleep. Something I do now and again when I've had a really heavy leg session is do breath work, or I think it's called cognitive breathing, but it might be called something else. Basically, it's 4 inhales, 7-second hold. So it's breathe in for 4, through the nose, hold for 7, and then exhale for 8, as though you're blowing through a straw. This then puts you from flight and fight to rest and digest. So not only will you'll get that sicky feeling kind of gone from post a heavy leg day, you'll be able to eat and digest your food a little bit better. So it all kind of works in synergy. As we're talking about testosterone levels, we're also talking about how can we digest food and how can we sleep, and all of these things are linked. So it's not just like one path. You'll kind of, I call them like happy accident side effects. So if you're getting if you're getting more food in, you'll be growing more, but you'll also be getting more testosterone, which will be growing more, which will be getting more growth hormone, which will be growing more, which will be getting sleep, and you'll be recovering better, which means you can train harder. All of those things just end up working synergistically. And again, on the part of the alcohol, it spikes cortisol so high. That doesn't mean that you need to spike it in the morning with a shot of vodka. That's a terrible idea. I do not advise that. But what I will say is avoiding it at all available possibilities is the greatest tool in your system, I would say. And finally, what people really want to know is the stack. So the stack being a protocol that I give to clients when they want to optimize their natural testosterone levels. Now, this might be because we've had some blood work done and it's come back low, or they want to compete, or we just want to get a little bit more out of it. So you can see the breakdown here. So you've got tonka ali, tribulus, testosterone, vitamin E, pregnenolone, coenzyme Q10, krill oil, ashwagandha, more tonka ali, more tribulus, more testosterone. So let's kind of run through this. LH is the luteinizing hormone, so that is a fertility stimulant. But you've got free test support. So what that is all the testosterone that's running around your bloodstream waiting for muscular repair. So tribulus just basically works on a very basic standpoint. It's just kind of there. Then you've got testosterone, which is MPS, which is muscle protein synthesis, which is the synthesizing of protein, carbs, and water. Vitamin E to protect the Leydig cell health, pregnenolone, which is a master hormone precursor, coenzyme Q10, which then helps with the mitochondrial function, which is a big one in the peptide world at the moment. So I added krill oil into here. The research, so I didn't really want to put something in that I didn't really understand why, and I didn't really understand why it was giving me this milligram. So I didn't put any description on it. I like red krill oil for heart health and things like that. The fact that it has this happy side effect is kind of just nice. So I put it in here. It says 350 milligrams, which I would use a lot more than that in from a health perspective. But if 350 does the job with testosterone support, then that's why I popped it in. But I would personally use that mainly for blood pressure and things like that. And ashwagandha is cortisol reduction. Tonka ali, you would need to dose it twice a day, same as tribulus. And testosterone, you want it twice a day. So the reason why I put unwind in there, and you could also argue that you put dream sleep in there as well, because they have magnesium in it too, which I mentioned earlier, which I didn't include in this, but that would be my go-tos. So thank you very much for watching the video. If you've got any other topics you'd like me to touch on, please let me know and leave them down in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to check out the post on my Instagram for any further information. And you can also check out my link tree in my bio, and you can see there for coaching. I also offer posing and consultation calls to basically whatever your needs might be. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.